Hey, 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 we should be live.
We are live.
And there we go. Hey, guys. Wow.
Wow.
Can I just say, wow.
Wow.
Welcome to, hey, everybody. It's Afrikana Stories. Welcome to the Black Legends multi-city virtual book tour. Like, what does that really mean? It confuses everybody. People won't be doing like, where I gotta go, where I gotta go. It's virtual, y'all. So welcome to the happy hour version. This is my first time out in like over 3 years. And I came out for my people.
My
People
people.
that I care about, that I like, that are on the tour. And so it's happy hour. So I want to first start it off. I really wanted to start it off with some music, but because I don't know about this whole copyright situation, I don't want to get sued. I don't want nobody taking me down. I'm just going to do a verbal shout out to all of the Black legends that have come and gone before us, paved the way so that we're able to sit before you and share our gifts, share our knowledge, share our stories with you because they paved the way. I want to first give honor. You know how we go to church. I want to give honor to the Lord first, the head of my life, God and Savior, like all that. I want to give honor to all the Black legends, first starting with my ancestors who have come and paved the way so that I can sit here and present to you the best quality of myself. It came from them. It came from them and their sacrifice. So I want to first start this off by saying, thank you to all of my ancestors. I love you, and I will try to make you proud with every breath that I take. Next, I want to welcome all the new Black seeds that are coming into the family, all the babies. I don't know if y'all have new babies in the family right now, but I just had a great nephew and a great niece born like less than 30 days ago. I call them Peanut and Chunky Butt. Because one is small and one is real thick, right? So I want to give a shout out to all of my new Black seeds that are joining the family, kings and queens in the making, new presidents coming that's going to turn this world around. Like I am claiming all of that back to ourselves. So welcome to the Black Legend Tour. Also, it's happy hour, and I'm drinking my favorite drink in the world. Can't nobody do it like the Hennessy. So hey, welcome to, and then I'm gonna be real us. I'm gonna drink it how we drink it from the red solo cup.
Well, y'all ready for mine?
Yes. What are you drinking, Steph?
This beautiful Yeti full of, what did you
Juice.
say? Water.
So hey, we are twin spirits. So you sober me up. You drink the water, I drink the liquor. Come on, JC. What you sipping on today?
I don't have anything right now. This hotel don't have no bar, so I couldn't grab nothing. So I don't
You
even
were
have
rushing
water.
to get here. You were rushing to get here. So that means, JC, you are going to be relied on to give all the nuggets, all the wisdom.
He's gonna have to be, because you know.
So let me introduce my co-hosts that are sitting on the stage with me. First of all, the I don't know who to start with first. Do I start with? I mean, we have a sponsor. We have two important people on the stage, right? So I'm going to start with the Black legend author. Last night, if you didn't catch his show, I don't know what y'all were doing. Like it was the best. Go and check it out. I think the link. We'll put the link somewhere. But go and check it out. We have J.C. Benson, the author of "Am I My Brother's Keeper?" Also the host of Dr. Black Love Dr. Black Love Show, and he's also the storyteller of our culture. So if you want to know anything about Black folks, like he gonna tell the truth, he gonna tell you the real deal on our culture and our people, right? So he's gonna brace us. Do you want to say something, JC? Go ahead and give a shout out to the peoples.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I was gonna say that's a little of that Hennessy talking, you know.
Hey, and it's in your book, by the way.
It is, it is. And I gave my viewpoint on his. I don't really deal with Hennessy, but I know our people love it, so
Yes,
I
we
put it.
do.
I know the proper place for it. No, I appreciate it. Thank you, Jamie, for everything you've done since you came into my life. Appreciate it. And Steph and I go way back, but
Yeah.
it's awesome. I'm glad we started the tour with our city, so to speak, and it was all virtual, but very happy to be here and that I can make it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
in the
And we
midst of
started
traveling.
the men kicked off the tour. The men kicked off the Black Legend Tour talking about Black men and mental health. And we're not going to tell you everything, but there's some really good information, ladies, especially Black women, taking better care of our men and what does men look for in a woman. Y'all got to go check that. We ain't gonna even talk about that tonight. We're gonna talk about, the future, forward looking, what's coming, for JC. What's the next thing and how you can get in touch with him. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. But if you want to hear about the conversation from last night, check it out on the YouTube channel. Check it out on his channel. He's on Facebook. JC Benson is your Facebook handle, right, JC?
JC Benson Official, and that's Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, I'll put a banner up that when you start talking. So, and then our next co-host is the comparable, I don't even know what the word, the amazing, like, this is my girl. I don't know how long we've been friends. It's been long enough that we irritate each other.
It's a good 15.
We love each other at the same time.
That we do about 15 years, I think, because Darian was little.
Oh my, yeah. But he was always taller than me, so I can't say when I was taller than him. He's always been taller than me.
How tall are you, Jamie?
I'm gonna say 5 feet, but the doctors be saying.
I didn't know you was that. Oh wow!
Not even wet.
Wow. I did not know you was that.
5 feet. I'm gonna round it up to 5.
Vertically challenged.
That's why when people meet me, they are so shocked because I talk like I'm taller than I am, and they meet me. They was like, "Oh wow, you're a little taller."
That's the truth. I was like, I didn't think. Wow, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
My daddy used to call me Half Paint. That was my nickname, Half Paint, because I wasn't even a whole paint. a whole paint. Okay. Anyway, so Stephanie Nelson. First of all, I don't even know what to say about this girl. She's a sponsor to the Black Legend Tour. Anytime I ask her for something, Steph is like, "Girl, what do you need? Just tell me where to show up and what you need, and I'm there." Right? She's always been that for me. But what I'm excited to get her in the seat tonight because she doesn't really tell everyone everything that she's doing. And I call her a business mogul. She's a marketing genius. She's a business brilliant. Like she just does it all. She knows how to put together a business, take it apart, and put it back together. But but she has so much going on. Like she doesn't just stay in. I think I learned multiple stream of income from her. Like that word, that term. She taught me that term. Like she has spreadsheets for the spreadsheets, and then those spreadsheets got baby spreadsheets. She's a planning guru, and so I'm really excited to get her in the hot seat tonight and ask her, what is it like to own land in a foreign land? Like she went back to her ancestral lineage and she decided, I'm going to build here, and not just build, but build an entire city. So we're going to talk about that and so much more tonight on the Happy Hour show of the Black Legend Tour. Hey, say hey to the folks, Steph, to the little people. Say hi to the little people, Steph.
Shout out to all the people, the little, the big, the not, the medium, everybody.
Everybody.
Hello. I am so excited to be on with Jamie and Jeff, two of my very favorite people.
Yes. Now you and Jeff grew up together, like
me and Jeff. Yes, me and Jeff are family. He is a part of my life, and he's going nowhere. Okay. And I have to always preface that. It's so funny because how we should probably do a show about that. How he has to preface introducing me versus how I have to preface introducing him. So my statement about him is simply the same thing. He's going nowhere. So if you can't deal with that. And I have a guy best friend. Yes, I do. And if
we're going to talk about that too, because people think that women and men can't be friends without being romantic or without being intimate. But there's a level of respect in friendship. That,
yes.
So
and so we
never had it.
Oh, Lord Jesus. But I've been privileged. But I will tell you though, it because I have had a lot of male friends and Jeff as a bestie, it has it took me a long time to get into my emotional awareness bag, that feminine energy, because I was always surrounded by so much testosterone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I would respond to relationships like a dude.
Mm-hmm.
I would respond to certain scenarios inside relationships like a guy. And it took me really well into my 30s before I really started to have, more feminine, or what we consider feminine, responses. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, long story short, I'm so happy to be here. Jamie she did not do herself any justice, because she put together a technology platform for this virtual tour that is second to none. Her pursuit of excellence
Yeah.
just makes you want to just be like, what the heck? Like, and so you have no choice but to show up and be well prepared to show up
Yeah.
in a way that gives value. So my excitement tonight is that we are able to have a valuable conversation with people, among ourselves as well. Sorry, y'all, about to drop my phone. Among ourselves as well, so that we can build. And just the way Jamie wanted to honor the ancestors, I honor the Lord Jesus Christ, who is
Yeah.
number one and head of my life,
Yeah.
and my family, who is so super important to me. And family does not always mean blood relatives.
True
The people on
story.
this call are family. So if I reach out and put out a SOS, they respond. Not
Yeah.
just and then we show up for each other as it's necessary, when it's required, and even when it's not. So that's what I wanted to say to greet the people. I'm excited for tonight's conversation, and I look forward to having some good growth moments with you all.
Yeah, so let's just kick it right off. I'm going to start with JC because he's here and he's on a tour, and his y'all, when y'all see me fanning,
We,
perimenopause, y'all.
listen, we know what it is.
It's coming, it goes, and I'm okay with it.
Uh-huh.
But I want to start with JC because you wrote the book "Am I My Brother's Keeper?" right? And it's a fictional book, but it's really talking about a real life situation between amongst friends with Black men. And that is, to me, is an interesting conversation just to have with how you navigate that whole friendship thing with us. And I know that people looking, it's like, oh, they just talking about Black people. Yes, that's what I want. I want this conversation to be about Black melanated brown skinned people, because that's just what it is. If you want to hear about other cultures, go ahead. But this platform is honoring our stories. Why it's important for that? Because we don't really tell our stories, not in the modern day. And so, because we think that our stories doesn't matter, it's not important enough, nobody want to hear it. But that's what our ancestors did back in the day, is that they told what happened to their children and their children's children. And that's what our job is, to teach our children the lessons that we've learned. And so I wanted to build a platform where we have that freedom to do that, and to teach it exactly how, because how I do things now isn't necessarily how I was raised to do it. I was raised by what my mom was taught to do. But then it didn't benefit me as I got older. So I had to learn, I had to find my own faith. You know what I'm saying? I had to find out, like, I saw my grandmother suffer through relationships. People treated her any kind of way. She was so sweet. She kept smiling. She's like, "Oh, baby, it's okay." Whereas Jamie, the firecracker, baby, and this is not even with the Hennessy talking. This is like, baby, my grandmother say, I don't take no wooden nickels. Like, I don't play that. But I come with a different kind of spirit. And so in your book, JC, let's go back to the relationship that you decided to portray between these Black men. These were not just men who sitting on the corner doing nothing. Like, they were successful. They had families. They had jobs. They had ambitions. So what made you come up with such a storyline for Am I My Brother's Keeper? I think we talked about that a little bit on the broadcast. But tonight I wanted to go deeper into that conversation with relationship amongst us, because it's hard to have a relation. We don't trust easily. So, you have to kind of like build that time. So tell me a little bit about those relationships, those between our peoples.
I think the one of the typically, I mean, I've written different types of stories and we've done some films and different things like that. But I feel like we get two opportunities to tell stories. Well, three. It's
Oh,
comedy, either some type of drug dealing type of
right,
stuff, or athletes.
right.
And I was an athlete growing up. I referee college basketball now, so nothing wrong with that. And never like in drugs or nothing like that. But I know people that are and will and was. And I'm not a comedian or anything, but there's another part of our culture that we don't get to tell as much, and that's just regular everyday people. That's 95% of us.
Mm,
So I feel it's
yeah.
always important to do that and show. So when someone reads the story or they're reading the story or they're talking about it, they can relate to it. These are people that you know every day, that are positive men and are in the world doing things, but they're not an athlete or a rapper or entertainer or something like that.
Hmm.
So I tend to stay away from stuff like that, just because I think these type of stories are more interesting. People can relate to it. In terms of just the characters themselves, I've had people that read the book that know me personally, and they'll be like, "Oh, you was writing about so and so." I'm like, "Nah, man. There's uh there's nobody in particular that the story was talking about, or wasn't written about any particular friend or friends that I have.
Yeah,
There's a collection of different things I learned, and then the way I write, I just develop. I make a baby. You
yeah.
create a person, and
But it's
with
so
different
relatable
things.
though. That's why they felt like you were talking about them, because it's
Well,
so
plus they
relatable.
know me too, so they'll be like, "Oh, they literally like, nah, you was talking about something." I'm like, "Nah, I wasn't. That is not. That's not that dude. It's not." So it was funny. I had a couple like friends that are close to me. It's like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Nah, man, it's not. It's not about any one person." So literally, people were like naming people. I was like, "Nah, it's not about that
See.
person or even me." People thought it was the main character was like me. Like,
Hmm.
no, you could draw some stuff. There's some things that are parallel or similar, but yeah, so it
We
wasn't.
get that
So
as authors, where people, especially our friends and our relatives, they look in our books and they go with the intent to find something about them that we've written about them, or somebody that we know. And I remember when I first started writing, like my friend said to me, "I'm not saying nothing around Jamie because I'm gonna end up in her book." And so people was
it's
like,
funny.
I'm like, please, like,
Like you, the police, you're
right.
reporting.
Like, what are
Like, oh,
you
that's a
so
good one.
afraid of? Right.
Yeah,
So what are you so afraid of? And people are afraid to read about. So I'm like, come on, y'all. It's not that deep. Like, seriously,
nah,
it's entertainment. And if you find a lesson in it that helps you, get that.
good. Yeah,
Stop looking for the negative and stop looking for the juicy and the messiness. This ain't TMZ.
yeah. People, I remember when I learned that early when we had our film production company. And, there's no perfect movie. Like if like I can typically catch stuff that's in the movies.
Hmm.
First thing I think of is Menace. They picked in that one scene
Yeah,
where he had her Jada Pinkett. I can't remember the character's name, but he picked the
yeah,
baby up twice in the movie.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and that's it's not $100 million budget, but it's a bigger budget than I had. But you'll have friends and family and people that, like you said, look for some. Oh, that must look.
yes,
Like
yes.
it's like, dude, like I had $50 million budget sitting around here. Where's your movie at?
Right.
So that stuff happens, but people do look for stuff and people that are closest to you. So I definitely can relate to that. I learned to
How do
just
you
ignore
deal
that
with
stuff.
that though, JC? How do
I
you
just
deal
learned to
with
ignore it, man. Like
Yeah.
there was things that happened through the book process that,
Hmm.
I remember one particular, I won't even bring it up, but one his family, like close family, one particular thing that happened. Um, and I've learned to not have any expectation with family or friends. None. Like literally I don't expect anybody to buy anything,
Yeah.
read it, support.
Yeah.
I just had to get to that point because
Yeah.
originally you start, I think you do expect that because it's
We
your
do.
family.
I mean,
But
that's a
I've
natural
learned,
thing, right?
yeah, I learned to be like, I have zero expectations, zero.
Yeah.
Outside of my mom, I don't expect nobody to say nothing.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm shocked when they do buy it, but I always tell my family, my friends, I'm not writing for you to buy the book because you're not my
right.
audience. I mean, you've influenced a lot of things in my life, but I'm not writing to sell to you. And so,
Mm,
and that's one of the things as new authors, we get so disappointed when they don't buy and they don't support us. And we feel like, oh, my family's not supporting me, but they're not your audience, boo. You would love for them to support you, but support looks different. Support doesn't always have to be they purchase your book or we need to bring up your merch too. You got some merch on the tour that we haven't talked about, your t-shirts. This is one of the t-shirts from I don't know if y'all can see it. Let me move my hair out the
you can
way.
see it.
This is one of the t-shirts from the tour, but we also have something. We also have your merch, JC Benson. It's all over so y'all check out that virtual bookstore that's on the tour page, and I'll put that in the link below the video. But anyway, but we look to our family to do that because that's what we expect, but they're not our target audience. I'm looking for someone to really that can reach them in a whole different way. Like most of my books are all about healing and healing from past trauma and things like that. But even in a fictional book, even in your book, JC, there's messages all throughout just about relationship and how they were able to form and keep that relationship over the years. So there's messages anyway. I can look at a fly on the wall and get a message from that fly. You just got to be open to growing and evolving and looking for ways, accepting those ways and not ignoring those opportunities. Anyway, that's all I got
Mm,
on that part.
absolutely. No, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah. So what else we got? So let's go to our mogul over here. That's across the muddy waters into a place called Nigeria that everybody's afraid to go to. And she made it look so she made it look so nice. Like Nigeria is such a beautiful place. Everybody's getting along and ain't none of that stuff happening over there that they tell us over in the United States of the Americas. And first, if y'all waiting for me to say anything about the political stuff that's going on in America, I'm not. I'm not even political at all. I don't care who y'all president is. I live in God. I don't care. I don't care what y'all vote for. Like they ain't got nothing to do with that. But what I do want to bring up is like, Steph, how did you get into what made you where did Nigeria even come from? Like all of those countries in Africa, and there's many, like you chose Nigeria of all. So where did that even come from?
So let's go back to a contract that I was doing with Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority.
Oh my.
And that was several years ago. And I had to hire a team.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of the people on the team were Nigerians. We were spending 12 and 14 hours together, me and team. We were working our hind parts off.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, you get to know people. They become, you become very comfortable with them, the whole nine. And they were like, Steph, the way you are, you need to go to Nigeria. And so my first trip was planned and orchestrated by those people that I used to work with. And that's how I went. I was supposed to stay 2 weeks, ended up staying a month.
Wow.
And as a result, I was like, wow, this place is nothing. But you know what, though? Can I be frank? Like, so many people were like, you weren't getting those calls from those Nigerians and other countries to scam you. We didn't get the calls at my house. I don't know what was going on. We didn't get those phone
People
calls.
called them from Nigeria? I never got a call either.
Well, people were saying that you never got those phone calls from people, Nigerians trying to scam you. And I was like, no.
But you get calls from people in America scamming you too. So
I mean,
more.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was like, no, I never picked them up. So I didn't have that healthy fear, or unhealthy fear, I should say, of
Mhm.
traveling to Nigeria. I just hopped on a plane because I was accustomed to traveling. So it wasn't, to me, it was no big deal. It was just a longer flight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once I landed and went into the airport, I didn't, you know how people are like, oh, this airport looks so much different than what I thought it would be,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Me, I was like, this looks like an airport. Like, what are we talking about? Let's go
It's
pick up
like
the
any other
stuff.
airport. I mean, it wasn't no different.
No difference. And now I will tell you where I had my moment, because everybody who touches down on the continent has that moment, right? Where
Mhm.
it's like, ooh, these are my people.
Yes. You see
And
a lot.
yeah.
You see a
And
lot
so
of
for
dark skinned people
me,
over there.
it was exactly. And so when that happened for me was when we started driving throughout the city.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, this
Yes.
is amazing.
Yes.
And
Beautiful. Yeah.
then the next part that happened for me was when, because I stayed with a couple of different families that were very well to do. And
Yeah.
so that first trip, I was talking to senators, and I was talking to people
Wow.
who, okay, had coin,
Right.
business moguls. And so for me, it was
Mhm.
like, they all look like me. They look like Jeff. They look like, because Jeff would be Igbo. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
He
With
would be an Igbo man because of his stature. Well, he could be a cross between Igbo or Yoruba, but primarily Igbo.
yeah.
And so, like, if you think about that, when you start to liken people to people that you love, it
Mhm.
becomes family almost
Mhm.
immediately. And so that was my initial experience. And then the other thing was when I started to leave, like, the central business district in Abuja, and started heading out to the suburbs. And
Yeah.
I saw how so many people, entrepreneurs and business
Yeah.
owners, were just doing business on the street. It
Yeah.
just gave me this, like, massive fire. Like, so you
Wow.
mean to tell me I'm complaining about these little stupid barriers I have in the US where it's comfortable, and these
Mhm.
people out here hustling every single day and turning lives
Sun.
around?
Yep.
So,
Rain. Yep.
oh, it don't matter what's
It
going
don't
on.
matter. They out there.
They outside. And so it just gave me this new zeal, this new fire.
Mhm.
Okay. And so this, to me, is one of the things where I think it's super important that people start to expand their horizons and their perspectives through travel. Um
Like that. Yes.
and I think
Yeah.
that that's what that particular trip, now setting up shop in Nigeria, became the natural next step, as I kept going back and forth and seeing so many opportunities. And I just started, I just was like, why shouldn't I? And
Mhm.
so I did. And I didn't have, again, the reservations that some people have. Now, was I aware that, of what they were saying? Because as soon as I traveled to Nigeria, that negative press is like, boom,
Right.
it's right in your face, right? It's like,
Right.
why are you there? Because all they do is scam you and da, da, da,
Yeah.
da, da.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Because I ain't, and for all the years that I've been working in Nigeria,
Mhm.
I have not gotten scammed.
Wow.
I have not been scammed. Now, I will say that it has helped that I've been surrounded, in the referrals that I've received of
Mhm.
people to work with. I've been given, they have always taken excellent care of me.
But you've
Excellent
done
care.
the research. You know, some people they don't do the research before they just jump into business and doing business in Africa or wherever country you do.
Yeah.
You've done the research on the person that you were talking to,
Oh yeah.
the businesses that you were connected with.
Hmm.
So you didn't go in blindly,
No.
um, that whole thing. But people who are getting scammed, you get scammed because you don't do your research. And I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say that, because as long as I've been in Ghana, I've never been scammed. And I look at YouTube videos, I read comments, people, oh, don't trust the real estate in Africa. Those realtors over there will scam you and blah blah blah. But I've never never been scammed because I done the research. I'm not just going to take you for your word for it. And I'm not just going to put money into a building that I've never been to the country to see. Like, why you buy land and never been there before? Who is the stupid one? Like you. Like,
Well, I will say this now, because most of my investors that are investing in my real estate project have never laid eyes on it. They don't know what's going on over there. You're an investor. Jeff is an investor.
and
They have
I've
never.
been to Africa like 5 times before I even said okay. But I also knew you.
Yeah,
Hello,
that's the difference.
I
The
knew you.
referral,
Well,
exactly. The
yes,
referral person
yes.
matters. The referral person matters.
I
The
can go in
referral
ignorant.
person matters.
Matters.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you trust their business
Yes.
instinct, then you're more likely to trust. I mean, one of the first people I called was Jeff. I was like, Jeff, we finna buy land. What we doing?
Mm-hmm.
And I made sure that because any project that I'm a part of, he's automatically a part of, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't even matter whether he bought or if he didn't, you know what I mean? But he purchased. And so that's another thing. That's a sign of real friendship too. When people, you know, support you in crazy endeavors, because nobody out here
But it
just saying
goes back
let's.
to relationship. It
It
goes back
does.
to relationship and being able to trust that person. And you and Jeff before were talking about that safe space that you have with one
Yeah.
another. I'm not just going to invest thousands of dollars into someone that I only met online. I've never met you face to face. You could be
Yeah.
cat. First of all, I know technology, so you could be catfishing me. Anybody could get a website and claim that they do something, but I'm going to build that relationship. You taught me this when you were my business coaches. Know,
Mm-hmm.
like, and trust.
Mm-hmm.
Those three factors are important when you're dealing with any relationship and when you're talking about investment.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact with your company and Travel and Invest in Africa, you do the vetting of all the companies and all of the organizations that
Yeah.
you partner with. There's a
Yeah.
there's a vetting process. So
Yeah.
you're not going to bring people on to new thing like you don't even know them. That's not how you operate. So that's a safe space right there. That's the foundation that you built. But you also knew the mentality of the people that you were going to be selling to and investing.
Yeah.
Right? You
I
knew that
think
mentality.
what you said right there is super good, because a lot of people in this particular space are moving quickly.
Yeah.
And I mean, because our project has been up and going since 2021. It's 2024. We're
Wow.
still working. You know what I mean? Because I've gone through some consultants that weren't worth the salt. So I had to
Yeah.
start again. I've
Yeah.
gone through some people who were providing services that the quality wasn't there.
Yeah.
When you start talking about real estate in particular,
Yeah.
I've got to be super careful. My nephews, his sons, are going to be in the house that we build. I
Yeah.
don't want no foolishness. I don't want no foot slipping through the floor. I don't want to
Right.
have. I don't want nobody having. I don't want no floors caving in because people
Right.
because we're not doing none of that. Okay. No, my own son. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't want
Yeah.
any, and because a lot of the people who have invested are friends of mine,
Yeah.
right? I don't
Yeah.
want nobody have. So I would rather move slowly and give
Yes.
quality than to move quickly
Quickly.
and don't have the level of quality that's necessary for people. So that and then run the risk of ruining all the work that I have done over the years to build
Money.
relationships and the money that has been invested. So I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather move slow. And so, to answer your first question, which is why Nigeria, it was a country that I did not have the reservations that some people have.
Mm-hmm.
I was oriented to Nigeria through friends, and people that I could verify, and then I just was like, let's go. I mean, because the barrier to entry in some ways is a lot lower because
Yeah.
of the currency exchange, and there's good and bad to that, right? There's the risk of you investing that money in there and not being able to get it out. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And that's a thing, where people struggle, and so we've had to build systems and options and things to ensure that people can do safe business.
Yeah. In Africa. Right.
I'll say in West Africa and in East Africa. I'm not the whole of Africa. So if you talk to me about Egypt, I can't help you. First of all, I wouldn't do business in Egypt. Right. South Africa. Nope. Can't get, well, let me say it like this. I can refer you to somebody, but
Yeah.
even then, nah. You can't get me to spend my coins in South Africa.
Yeah.
So there are certain places that, so not the whole of Africa, but for sure West Africa I'm quite familiar with.
Yeah.
And Kenya, to be frank, is what my East Africa
Oh, I
relationship.
love Kenya.
I know you do.
I've been there twice and I loved it. I mean, I was introduced to Indian food in Kenya.
In Kenya. Yeah. And they're actually now like the 45th or 46th tribe.
Yeah.
Because they have made such a significant impact in that country. And I learned that through my partnership with Traverse Culture.
Yeah, I see them a lot. Traverse Culture on Instagram.
Yeah, she's killing it, to be frank.
Yeah.
She's killing the game. She's moving into medical tourism. She's made that announcement, so I'm feel free to share medical tourism, and that is like such a huge opportunity for folks to think about when you start talking about healthcare in any shape or form in Africa, because oftentimes people leave Africa to go and get healthcare. But what they fail to realize is that Kenya is when it comes to healthcare, is a metropolis.
Really?
Oh God, yes.
So
healthcare.
Because I'm thinking, I came back here not just for the tour and to visit my family, but really to get the healthcare, because in Ghana, and we'll talk more about this on our November 2nd, I have the Renaissance period coming on board to talk about women's health internationally, like global, what resources are global outside of the US for women. Yeah. And Ghana is slim to none. And if you can show me where they concentrate on women's health in Ghana, please call me. But I've been there for 3 years, and I can't even find medicine for menstrual cramps or anything that has to do with women's health, other than them doing the basic checkup. But if there's a problem, they can't help me. Vertigo, they can't help me with. Perimenopause, the symptoms of they can't help me with. So that is so needed in Africa, especially Ghana, because what I do know is all of their drinks are for the men. Like, they help the men get the strong boom boom. But what about the women?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because
that's why a lot of women all messed up, because of them strong boom booms. Like, you got to help the women too to take care of them. Take care of that too.
Well, that part. But I would say also that it's a matter of being able to travel the continent. So for you, if you didn't get good health care in Ghana, you right there next to Nigeria. That ain't even a 40-minute flight. And Nigeria got hospitals in Abuja that'll make their IVF treatment is so good that they can, if you want a boy.
Really?
They hope they can pinpoint
the genetics. I will say, when I got sick in Nigeria, like quickly they went to the pharmacy and got me the because I had allergies or something. I just blew up, and they got that like really quickly. But I don't get that response in Ghana. Like, they don't even get me. I'm telling, like, I have a headache. What do you take for headache? I don't know. We just wait for it to go away. We'll talk about that. But I love Ghana. The healthcare system sucks ass. I'm just but I love Ghana, and I'm gonna stay there. I'm just gonna fly somewhere.
I'm a stick beside him. If I'm a stick beside him was a person, that is definitely Jamie when it comes to that goddamn Ghana. What? She said, I'm a stick beside them with a non-healthcare having self. What in the world? But you can't catch a 40-minute flight over to Nigeria and get you.
You know how I feel about Nigeria. We're not even gonna get about it on this segment. Me and Nigeria don't get along. Like,
I don't understand why.
You been in Nigeria, Jeff?
He going next year.
Okay, you gotta go. You have to go.
Yeah, I haven't been yet. Oh well.
Yeah, when he comes through, it's gonna be a whole different ball game, because by then my house will be done.
Oh, I'm coming. I'm only coming to Nigeria to visit you.
I know.
Not even like if they want me to go for another contract, y'all gonna have to pay me a whole lot more than what you paid me up front. Like, I ain't waiting until I get back home and then I want it up front if you
No,
want me to go
pay
to
my coin.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because
Now, but
I was not happy.
I want the record to reflect. I told you. I specifically told her, Jeff, I said, before you go, tell me the name of the hotel. Tell me who you working with, because I understand. And then it was a government.
It was a government
thing,
contract. Yeah.
and they don't do right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got African government to African government, and the
Yeah.
fact that it was Nigeria and Ghana, girl, they gonna definitely put the Ghanaians wherever. And so it's just not.
Now I know.
Yeah, now you know it. But now you got a nasty taste in your mouth about Nigeria, and that ain't it.
I sure do. Because I even told them that I'm Yoruba, I'm from the tribe, I'm your sister. They be like, and then they speak the what's that, pidgin? I absolutely love listening to them talk. Like, and first of all, say
they speak pidgin in Ghana too. That tells you right there that Jamie over there in a bubble. What the heck?
They don't speak that in Ghana.
They don't speak pidgin?
No. They speak UK English, and then they speak their native tongue, Tree or Ga or whatever, but not. I mean, but my friend knows how to speak the Nigerian that pidgin language very well, but I couldn't. I didn't understand. I love to hear them talk though. And let's see, one of the things that they did, I can't remember now.
Oh Lord, here we go. Now you want to talk?
Yeah, it was a different experience. I went because my bloodline says that I'm 90% Nigerian. Mm-hmm. And I kept telling them, like, I'm Nigerian. They could say, "Oh, you're Yoruba." And Yoruba, the tribe, is known for like entrepreneurship, like their business and hustlers. And so they kept saying, "Oh, you're from the Yoruba tribe," but they kept asking for more money. Like, they would charge triple the amount that they would charge anybody else.
Because you could be talking about you a Yoruba all you want to, but you came from America. Hello.
They saw that blue passport. They saw that blue passport, and they was like,
touching. They was like, baby, but that's another reason why I told you to call me before you go. But you didn't listen, so now you got what you got. So
yeah, I got what I got. But you know how I am. I learned the hard way. I'm a hard head. Hard head makes a soft behind.
I will tell you this though. I will say about, and from a doing business perspective, international territories in general, is that aside from the research and the due diligence and vetting process, you also have to be a risk taker.
Yeah.
You really do. You have to be willing to take some very, in some cases, uncalculated risks, because I will tell you, one of the things about working in that space is as fresh eyes to their systems, you can identify gaps a lot quicker than people who are in the system all the time, because it's almost like, this is just how we do it, this is the way we work, this is what we've done, so we just keep going with it. And it's like, but that's not actually a good thing. I'll give you an example. People say these big words like smart cities. And to get back to something that you were talking about, I purchased a lot of land in Nigeria, in Edo State. And we have a 13-acre project that we've started, and that project will also be considered a smart city. Well, people think smart cities are these, kind of humanoid robots and, all these things. Well, what makes a smart city is your ability to collect data. That's it.
That's it. So it's not the solar panels or the high tech stuff, the smart homes that tell you, oh, it's 73 degrees in the house.
So what makes a smart city is a smart city or smart project, because ours is an estate, so it wouldn't be considered a smart city. Well, the whole city would be considered a smart city, because even if it's just the one project that collects data, it's still a smart city. So what we're going to do now is put in the roads sensors, so that we can collect how the weight of the vehicles, in some cases the types of tires, in some cases we can collect all these different the weight of those cars. I think I said that already. Long story short is we're going to collect that information and then we're going to sell it to the government.
Mm.
And that is at its bare form. You go from a non-smart city to now you're a smart city, all because you were able to collect data
And give it to the government.
and whether you give it to the government or you're collecting it to inform how you maintain the roads, how you
Mhm.
manage, the flow of uh, sewage, water, all of it informs some part of the estate so that you can make better decisions around the efficiency of that particular area.
Wow. This is also interesting every time I talk to you about the city, because you're you're doing something that, first of all, I don't know anyone that's building a whole city in a different country. And so to be this close to this type of information is interesting to me, because the government contracts that I typically go for, we do research, and they hire us to go in and do that research for them. Look at, and so, but you're building a city that makes that easy to collect that data for them, for the government. And
Yeah, because
they pay, like, data collection is in the millions, of what we're talking about, making
oh,
money. Like that's
data data is the new gold.
yeah.
It's the new gold. So if you can collect data
Mhm.
and segment it and filter it and whittle it down so that it's useful information, ah, you have become an instant millionaire. Because remember
Yeah.
when crypto was like
Yeah.
all the rage, and crypto is still all the rage, it's just behind the scenes.
It's behind. Yeah.
Yeah, when crypto was all the rage, people were talking about crypto mining, and
Hmm.
what that meant was what was the flow and
Yeah.
action of that particular cryptocurrency. How was
Hmm.
it moving through the ledger? So people wanted to track it to see what kind of decisions people were making as a result of it.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say that, making the decision to be doing business in Nigeria has afforded me the opportunity to work in some major industries, travel being one of them. Real estate investments and acquisitions and development is a second part, in West Africa. And we're moving into the Caribbean, South America. I mean, there's also some pending stuff going on in those areas. So, and then one of my favorite projects that we have going on is the development of our agricultural global supply chain.
Yeah. I was
That
about to
part,
say about the farming. Yeah.
yeah, and how
Yeah.
that farming works, and how I was talking to a gentleman last weekend in Ghana, who from Ghana, who was
Hmm.
talking about. I was saying how, well, I had to kind of own the entire process because of quality control, and he
Yeah.
was like, if you're doing work or business in Africa, it's best for you to own the entire supply chain. And so it was such great confirmation for me, because it was like, oh, this is good, right? Like that, to hear a Ghanaian say
Yes.
that.
Yes.
He was visiting from Ghana. He's
Yes.
Ghanaian and Polish. And
Wow. Okay.
he was
Yeah.
visiting from Ghana with his dad. So just to hear that was good confirmation, because it was like, it's stressful, when you own all of those different compartments,
Yes.
and teams, and making sure everybody getting paid, whether you get paid or not. You know what I mean? And
But let's talk about that a little bit, Steph. When you talk about that supply chain and owning each part of the supply chain
yeah.
for the people in the back, what does that look like? What does a supply chain look like for
Okay.
us? Yeah.
It started with the acquisition of land for me.
Mm-hmm.
And my introduction to supply chain was during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It was during COVID. It was during, so I didn't know anything about supply chain. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, I was an expert in supply chain. I was not. I had no clue about it, was introduced to it in COVID. And what happened from there was, let's fast forward. COVID gave me my own introduction to supply chain. So another gap was formed based on customer demand. I was traveling back and forth to Nigeria. I had a couple of people asking me for things like soursop. They wanted the
Oh
leaves.
yes.
They wanted the seeds. And so being able to, I was like, okay, I didn't know anything about soursop, had no clue about it. And once I started to do the research and understand the level of that commodity and the value of that commodity, girl.
Yeah.
We
But
got a whole
soursop,
soursop
yeah.
farm.
Yeah.
It was a land acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
It was understanding the commodity that had high demand and low supply.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it was taking the necessary action steps to say, okay, so we're going to germinate the seeds, plant the seeds, and then we're going to, and for a while I was selling tea on the retail side. And
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, this ain't it. Right. And so this is where my COVID training kind of came back into play when we were dealing with like masks and all that PPE and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And
Right.
so that kicked in and was like, where do I need to go to sell the maximum amount of my supply as often as I can for the most competitive price? And that's when we started to get these wellness brands on board. And now we have multi-year contracts, so that I don't have to think about it anymore. And
Yeah.
so, well, I think about it still because now we have a distribution network that we added where people have the option to sell it for themselves, and we're building out other additional manufacturing and processed goods. So land acquisition was the first thing.
Yeah.
And then it was like planting the actual commodity and
Mm-hmm.
making sure it was growing. Then it was
Mm-hmm.
a matter of how do we process it and harvest it from people,
Mm-hmm.
harvest it from the land in the most efficient way. And so
And
that
then
became,
that's the distribution, or that's after that.
well, that's pre-distribution because now
Mm-hmm.
we've got to process, because now we've got to get our processes in order where we're picking at the right times for the
Yeah.
maximum, right? Because we don't add anything to the soil. There's nothing in the other than how the soil is, and it's
Mm-hmm.
very mixed. It's very good soil. And so those trees started coming up. And so as a result, baby, now folks are ordering soursop
But
leaves. We don't have the fruit yet. And then from there, then it became shipping. How are we gonna
yeah.
get it out of there? And
Oh
then
wow.
we
Yeah.
had to, so then we had to deal with that, and that became, a whole thing. We were getting disappointed by people who were shipping, so we had to open up a shipping office. And then what does that look like? And who do we go for vendors and all the things? And then it became, wait, I need more people because these couple contracts are great, but supply chain is a multiple $1 trillion recession proof
Mm-hmm.
business. So
Mm.
how do I get my piece of the pie? I want a net worth of 35 billion. How we gonna get there? Supply chain.
Mm. We
Supply
coming
chain.
back to that stuff. We're gonna put a stick there because we want to give a before Jeff leaves us, before JC leave us for the evening. I want to make sure people know where to find him. So Jeff, go ahead. Where can people find you before you leave us?
Excuse me. Well, there's a website which is jcbenson.com.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram and Facebook is the same. It's at JC Benson Official. So those are the main three places to find me.
He's so meek and mild, y'all. But he's not just. I mean, I told Jeff if he stopped writing, I'm gonna come get him. Like Jeff is the best storyteller, and I'm a publisher. I've had a whole bunch of manuscripts come across my desk, but I've never been so excited about this one because he really tells an excellent story. He's a storyteller by heart. So when he says storyteller for our culture, like this dude can tell story. He's a writer. And he don't write boring stuff. So literally, he's an excellent writer, but he's not just a writer. He's a podcaster. He did film production, like anything in that genre. Jeff can do it and do it so well. So I want people to go look for JC. Look for the Dr. Black Love podcast. That's going to be fun when that launches. So if you want to know more about the Dr. Black Love podcast, go to jcbenson.com. Follow him, y'all. If you see him online, because he don't come outside often. So when he come outside, y'all better check for him. Okay.
Yes.
I got a challenge from
Thank you for being part of the Black
I got to
Tour.
start doing like live and stuff. I think I'm gonna start doing that more. So for the
Oh,
podcast.
really? That would be so fun. Like if you do it, I'll come outside just to see you do live. Like, so now listen, I'll come outside for anybody.
I was challenged to do that, so I think.
Yes, I want you to, Jeff. You have to tell more stories. You have to write more books. Oh, and guys, Am I My Brother's Keeper is coming out on audio, so look for that soon. That's going to be out soon. You can get the ebook and the hardcover on JC Benson, but soon the audio book is going to be ready for you. So
and it's me, it's my voice.
Yes, it's his voice, and it's so professionally done because we don't do no crap over here at the blackseaspublishing.com. All right, thank you, JC, for being a part.
Thank you all.
I can't wait for your next project. I can't wait for your next podcast. Invite Afrikana Stories so I can come on there and act a fool with you too.
All right.
Don't worry, you're gonna be on there.
All right.
Talk to y'all soon.
Bye, JB. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, later.
Bye.
So let's go back to this whole supply chain thing, because you know what amazes me? As you were talking, it sounded like you, huh?
I gotta take a bite of the sandwich, girl.
What sandwich you eating on?
Grilled cheese.
Oh, you know, moved over. I was about to say before we started, you were eating on something like it was real. It was just apple. I'm like, girl, you can make everything look good. So, but as you were talking about the supply chain and that whole, what that looks like, it sounded like you were building as you went.
That's right.
So as you were coming upon a problem, it's like, oh, I can figure out I can do that myself.
I did.
And so you built that supply chain. So that whole like from acquiring the land to distribution and everything that comes in between that is a lot. But I could also tell that you did your research.
So I was forced to do it, right? Because I was like, there's no way that I'm going to not solve this problem. The entrepreneur in me was like, this is a problem that can be solved. I'm sure people are solving it all the time. And again, like I told you, my introduction from a COVID perspective helped me understand that, okay, people are solving this problem. Even in COVID, when the whole world was shut down, people were still goods.
Yes.
Their supplies. Amazon was still delivering.
Amazon became a billionaire. Come on.
Instacart was still bringing groceries. So people will do whatever it takes. And that's the reason why I tell people getting into supply chain has been one of the best business decisions I've ever made in my entire life.
Really?
Oh my gosh, because it kind of brings it all together from the real estate acquisitions, even into business acquisition. And then you talk about supply chain, it brings the whole value chain together, because now we've got, okay, so let's say that you want to get into supply chain. But you want, and you've heard of said commodity located in Belize, right? Or it's in Panama, or it's in St. Lucia, which is one of my favorite. So like if we're going now, it's like, okay, so now you've got to travel. Now you've got to determine who has that commodity that you're looking at. Right. You've got to look at, is it better for you to partner with somebody that's already has the commodity and has already done all of the necessary certificates to have it exported, etc. Or is it better for you to produce it on your own? I think different countries require different things based on their government regulation and what global trade looks like for them. And then determine from there how you're going to move about. If you do it on your own, now you've got to go through the certifications process. You got to get all the numbers and all the things, and partnering with the government, etc., to make sure. And when I say partner, I mean, just ticking all the boxes of what you're supposed to do. And then shipping is a huge part, right? It's a huge part because a lot of companies are have these shipping companies. Just the other day, 45,000 port men went on strike.
Saw that. Yeah. So then what do you do?
Well, because we had this, and let me tell you something. God is so amazing. It's extremely strategic, and he prepares his own.
You better say that.
And I'm just going, he prepares his own people. And so I will say that how he did that with me through my with the help of my business partner, to be honest with you, is instead of having it come on through DHL or UPS or any, like, because DHL and UPS started cutting up, and FedEx started cutting up about delivering those leaves. He had it on cargo of air freight, so it started going on planes, and it doesn't go into the port; it goes to the airport. So that's a circumvent, right?
Yeah.
Get our supply. Now, it did cause some delays, but those delays never said that we weren't going to get it. Whereas with the ports, if them men walk away, baby, you don't know when you're going to get that supply.
Or if you're going to get it.
If you're going to get it. And so then shipping becomes a huge thing. And then distribution is the next, like, the large. And so we recently kicked off Nelson Legacy Enterprises International Agricultural Distribution Network. And we currently have about 8 people in there who are distributing soursop leaves in their own business, right? And so we handhold those folks through it. I'm the supplier. They get a business, they make a small investment, they purchase a certain amount, and then they sell it, they distribute it. Now my product is now going everywhere where these people are. And so far it's been the Midwest, the East Coast, and the South. And so as we continue to add distributors, and as they continue to build out their own networks, now that particular supply or commodity that was in high demand and low supply, now we start to equal out supply and demand. Well, in the tension of the low supply and high demand is where billionaires are made.
You better say that again. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, so this particular, and because of the power of this particular commodity and what it represents. So now we've got soursop. All of this stuff is just organic to the climate in Africa, in West Africa in particular, and in certain other parts of Africa as well, and in the Caribbean, Central America, South America. And people never realize. So in the Caribbean, soursop is like, oh, that's no big deal. It's just a fruit we eat. Here in America, it totally cleans your blood.
Yeah.
It deals with PTSD, anxiety, insomnia.
It
deals with.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. And so it's a natural way of dealing with some of those things. Now, I'm not saying it cures it. I'm saying it is something. So I was just having this conversation with one of my distributors about the difference between a soursop leaf tea and melatonin, and how important it is for you to know your product. And so
tell us about that.
So melatonin
is going through it right now.
Yeah, well, the melatonin piece is, when you ingest it, and somebody who was a nurse told me this, and my brother's wife, my sister-in-law, she was telling me, when you take melatonin outside of your body, instead of creating it within your body, now your body feels like it doesn't need to create it anymore.
Oh, wow.
Whereas soursop doesn't do that. Soursop brings the level of melatonin up with the imbalance, so that you can now produce the necessary melatonin for you to sleep. Naturally. Yeah. And so soursop is also, because of its healing properties, it has a calming effect as well. So it reduces your blood sugar, your blood pressure. I tell the story all the time. My business partner suffered from insomnia so bad that it created anxiety. He would always start thinking like, oh my God, how am I going to sleep tonight? Because he knew so he started taking that soursop tea. That man sleeps like a baby. And he took it for, he still takes it, but the months and months he took it, because he was suffering. His face was starting to sink in. His eyes had this black, it was getting bad. Insomnia was really, really bad. And so as a result, he started drinking the tea sometimes twice a day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And then his sleep, because he did not mess up the melatonin in his body by adding melatonin. He stripped himself of taking those things outside of his body, but the soursop helped him increase the level of melatonin in his body. Now he sleeps fine.
Now you have, with the soursop, since we're on that, you actually have a distribution kind of business where people, if they want to be distributor of the soursop tea, you have an opportunity for them, right?
Yeah. So if you want to become a soursop tea distributor, you really need to connect with Jamie first. She needs, you need to tell me that she sent you. Okay. In order for that to happen for you, if you're listening to this broadcast, whether replay or live, so that you can take advantage of the opportunity. And what happens is you place your order for the amount of so we have 10 kilograms and of the leaves, and we have 5 kilograms of the powder. So if you decide you want to make tea bags, then we recommend the powder. If you want to sell the leaves where people boil it and make it, strain it, then that's something else. Now there's a power, they're both equally as powerful.
Yeah.
It's just one is easier to deal with than the other, and we recommend that people, if they're just starting out, that we say to them to go ahead and get the powder, because it's just easier. Even the shipping is easier, and all the things. So you can come along. So let's just say that the price is like, if you do everything yourself, is $14.95 for you to get $1,495 for you to get the 5 kilograms of powder, and that you turn that into about between a $10,000 and $15,000 return on investment.
Wow. And you show them how to do all of that.
So we go through the process with you. Now, this particular distribution network, these first, I'm capped at 15. Once we get to 15 people, we will have automated most of it. And so you won't have that access to me as you used to. However, you'll hear my voice, and I am, in some cases, a WhatsApp message away, depending on what the nature of the issue is. But as this continues to grow and expand, obviously I become a little bit more distant from it, because I need to hire more people to take it over. But for now, there's 8 people in that. There's 7 spots left for people to be a part of it. And then there's another group of people who are like, I don't want to be packaging my own tea. I want somebody to do it for me. Then there's another package for that, and that's $2,795, where we package everything, do the label design.
Good Lord.
Each package includes 60 days of social media content with captions.
Listen, every time I talk to you, I get more and more inspired. You know, first of all, there's no way one person can do everything that you do and think the way that you do. Like, you really do you have every spot in the supply chain.
Yeah.
On rack. Like, I'm getting this feedback. I don't know why.
Oh, let me
see if I can turn off I thought I had everything off. Okay, so it sounds better now. Oh, it's because you have, anyway, I'm so sick of this technology, but I'm so proud of you. Like, we can talk all day and all night, but literally, when I think about business, and when I think about, how someone puts a business plan together, it's not just, you don't do just one thing. You are a mogul to me. That's why I always call you my Black legend mogul, because you are doing a million things, like literally every part of the supply chain. And if you come upon something else tonight, if you see something, that is going to see, what I've learned from you is there's no blocks and challenges for you. You see it as an opportunity. You see it as an opportunity to make money from it. Oh, you won't do this for me? That's all right. I'll do it myself, and I'm going to build a company around it myself, and I'm going to own it myself. So that is so inspiring to me. I love you, Steph. For life.
I love you too, Jamie.
For life, and there's no such thing as death in my family. Like, but so forever.
Forever.
Thank you for being ever and ever. Thank you for being a sponsor to the Black Legend Multi-City Virtual Book Tour.
And we only going up now.
I know we can't go down. Like, there's no.
We're going up. We're getting bigger and better.
Up bigger and better together. And like, literally, when we talk about taking over the world, we've already started in West Africa, baby.
For sure.
Because we coming to the Caribbeans, we coming over there,
South America,
Asians, like we come everywhere.
certain parts of Eastern Europe. That's as a result of connections and network and relationships. I've been introduced to some things in Eastern Europe. So let me tell you, we at the beginning.
Yeah.
And we still young.
Yeah, when I get past this period,
I know your body feel like it ain't young, but baby, you still young.
When I'm not doing this, and I'm like 48 years old. This don't make no sense.
48 where? 48 where?
I know. Don't I look good?
Girl, you look amazing.
I told StreamYard to make me look nice when I go ahead and knew that appearance up. So whatever they say, do you want us to? Yeah, do it, baby.
Right, do that.
Take out. I don't have no wrinkles, thank God. But seriously, you know, even at my young age, and I do feel like this is me living my life. And what that means is I'm no longer trying to please people. I've been giving away my gifts for free for a long time, and now I'm at the space where I'm going to live for me. I'm going to create a life that I love living. And I'm at that space now. I found that in Ghana. Could I have found it in America? Possibly, I don't know. But I found it in Ghana. I found it with like kind of scaling back on the people that I called friends and really accepting the people like you. Like as soon as we met, we've been like this, you know, and still haven't even, have we? No, we met one time face to face, I think.
Girl, more than that. It's been at least twice.
I think I only been able to hug you once. But that's how close we are, and like we don't even live in the same place.
I mean, literally, like I'm like, really sure? Because I felt like anyway. So long story short is that tells you right there, because we met through a mutual friend and have been like, and so as a result, I mean, I'm just so proud of I remember when Black Seeds was 2 companies before this.
Yes. Oh my God. Matters in my heart. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just remember how
you see me grow. Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember, and through business coaches and, you know, and I love the fact that we are collaboration over competition all day.
Yes. All day, every day.
All day, every day. How did we make it work for us? And how can we partner? How can we work together and all the things? And so, you know, I'm so proud of this virtual tour. I'm so proud of the platform that you built. I mean, if you guys have not taken a look at the website, at the platform,
honey,
it blows you away.
Girl, I popped my own collar off of that.
Like, you need to. That thing is insanely, absolutely amazing.
But you know what, I mean, Steph? I did it because I want to build it for somebody else. I want to show you what I can do. Like I'm not a publisher anymore. I'm a content creator, and I want us to go out into this world, and I want us to stand out. I want us to do things that no one has ever done before. And I remember my friend said when he saw the site, he was like, "You are way before your time. Like this, people are not going to understand this." And that's what I love about it. Yes. I love that people don't understand it, because when it comes to the place, and I want to build that for others, like us, because there's nothing we can't do. I'm a living witness. There's literally, like, we're so freaking brilliant. All we have to do is say we want it. And then everything will work. Look at how like I've seen you over the years. There's no way I can do what you do. That's why I'm glad we're partners. You know, because if I need something, I can come to you. Like I always like, if how much do I charge for something like this? Like I would go. That's the relationship that we should have as a community. Yeah, and I appreciate you for being that for me. Oh, and me too. Safe space for me. Being that safe call for me. Like I've been able to share personal things and been able to try and be vulnerable with you, and yet still build together with you.
That's right.
So I appreciate that. I appreciate
it. Me too. I love it. I love you too, girl. And we're gonna have to do this again. I'm glad we kicked off in Pittsburgh.
Yes. I mean, what perfect way to do it, right? What perfect way.
It was so good. And I'm thankful that people are connecting to Black Seeds Publishing. You better go ahead and have them clients before you even launch. Hello.
Listen, I'm just going to tell them, listen, go get your land in Nigeria. Oh, you do trips. Hey, we haven't even talked about that. This is the last thing I promise we're going to go. Okay, everybody's like, oh, they so personal, whatever. Listen, you also do trips to Nigeria so people can get land before they even start to invest.
Oh, you know what? If you can come. So I have a trip that is December 8th through the 18th. And for Jamie's community, I forgot about that, Jamie. I forgot.
What? You didn't tell me.
I didn't. For Jamie's community, anybody who says Black Seeds Publishing virtual tour, everybody who comes can come for now, because the trip is $3,800. You can come for you can come for $2,800. That's not a little bit of discount. Okay.
What'd you say?
The trip costs $3,800. You can for $2,800 if you tell me that you're coming Black Seeds Publishing virtual tour.
Oh my goodness!
Give that type of discount to Jamie. That's the only person that I would do that for.
Oh my goodness! First of all, you can't get. First, your trips to Africa is starting at 4,000 right now. Starting at 4,000. I'm just. So this is a huge discount.
Huge discount. Now, what it includes is your visa. It includes breakfast every single day. It includes your hotels. It includes your excursions. It includes, we give you a custom made top or bottom. You get to choose it when you come when you arrive. The first day they come in and they'll say which one, pick and choose. They'll do your measurements and all the things.
Oh
and then also, but what is not included is your flight.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we do help you book your flight. So we make sure we try. So we give you the date, like it's now October 6th. So you guys would have to come on board between the 15th to the 21st-ish so that we can get everything set up for you. But for real, all you're doing is coming, because there's nothing you can do. All the logistics are taken care of. We escort you through the airport. We and I actually will be flying on the 8th and arriving with you on the 9th. So I know for certain they coming to get me from the terminal. Okay, they coming to get me, baby. So
honey. And let me tell you, that airport, like going into any international, when you fly into any international airport and you have to go through customs for 2 hours, let me tell you, if you have a trip that you have a company that's going to pick you, it bypasses that 2-hour wait of going through, and through customs, they open your bags. People like me travel with 10 bags and stuff.
Okay.
They open every single one. You bypass all of that.
Dude, there's a lot of benefits.
It's a lot.
Traveling.
Wow.
And it's a concierge style experience. So that means we take care of all of the details. So if you call us or text us in the group and say, this is my problem, this is what I'm dealing with, we're sending someone to deal with your problem.
Oh my goodness.
Immediately. So there is just a lot of benefits to coming with us on this experience, and you will experience a cultural explosion, right? Mm-hmm. We're doing culinary experiences. Mm-hmm. We're doing, because the food in Nigeria, despite there is a huge push for Nigerian food in the Americas right now. Everybody talking about Nigerian food.
Really?
Oh gosh. Everybody talking about Nigerian food, chat. So you'll get a chance to experience the authenticity of.
I was going to say this earlier that, no lie, the finest men is in Nigeria. I'm sorry. I know I live in Ghana and I love me some Ghana. But when you talk about fine, sexy, fine, all day,
every day.
Nigerian men. I love me some Nigerian men. I hope my friend ain't looking.
It's okay. You're coming back. You're coming.
I'm gonna edit it out.
So it's an amazing.
Yes. Welcome.
We go to the art. We go to the beach. We go to the arts and crafts market, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you walk into that Lucky Arts and Crafts Market, baby, and you see all of the jewelry, all of the artifacts, etc. Mm-hmm. So we do that. We go to the largest art gallery in West Africa, which is the Nikkei Art Gallery. We do a lot of traveling between the mainland. We do a day on the mainland. We do glass blowing. I mean, there's all kinds of activities that we do. So for the Black Legend virtual book tour attendees, you get $1,000 off, and that is unheard of.
That's yeah.
So
that
you
is
got
unheard of.
Yep. And then, like I said, it includes your visa. So there's no headache of you having to figure out how I'm going to get a visa to get over there. You ain't got to worry about it.
Let me tell you. And that's difficult because, especially don't think that it's easy to get it on arrival.
It's not
that easy.
No, it's not. And it takes a long time. So what we
started to do, you have to pay more too at the airport.
Especially if you do it at the if you do it at the airport, just have mercy. Yeah. You do it. It's a lot. So we are happy to present that. I forgot to tell you that, Jamie.
Thank you.
You brought up the trip because so this is for your community only, and for you, for your folks who come over. Because one thing I know about Jamie is she provides amazing service, and so we want to do that for her.
Oh, thank you. You're always doing something for me.
Of course. So I am grateful that I had this time with you, Mama, and we can.
Yes, thank you.
I'm about to call you.
Yes, thank you guys for joining us on the first happy hour of the Black Legends multi-city virtual book tour. It's not your ordinary book tour. If you haven't checked out, let me go ahead and put that up now. If you haven't checked out the tour site, you want to go to blacksweetspublishing.com. Check it out. Listen, go into the game room. There are free books in the game room, but you have to play the game to get to the free book.
Yeah.
To get to the free prize. And it's not just your ordinary book, y'all. So go ahead, play around, have fun, and see you next week on the Black Legends Tour. Bye, guys.
Bye.